Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Excalibur Data Systems Roundtable Tech Talk. I'm Mike Fuson from Excalibur, and I'm joined today by one of my favorite people from across the pond, Tom Petley, at our partner, Halo. Tom, how are you doing today?
Yeah, really well. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, great to be back. Yeah, great to
Yeah,
catch
it's
up today.
great to be back at it. And of course, we're talking Halo. One of the exciting things that for me and that Halo customers see, and you too should become a Halo customer because you get to experience this, is the constant innovation that Halo is making with their product. And this isn't like, oh, hey, once a year we have some big splash thing. It's
Mm,
happening all the time,
mm,
weekly, monthly, quarterly, all kinds of things from small things that have a
mhm.
huge impact to pretty gigantic things. And Tom and I talked about the chatbot that was released at the end later in the year last year. But we've got some of those small things that have a huge impact we want to talk about today. So, Tom, one of the things we want to talk about is really end user roles, right? In a
Mhm.
typical IT service management system, you have kind of your technician roles, and then you have end users, and the end users are communicating through the portal.
Mhm.
But from customer feedback, Halo has kind of taken a look at how do we allow the end user to be more interactive with the system.
Mhm.
Um, One of the examples that was used as this was first coming up, and I know as a demo we'll do in the future here is, an end user might be assigned a task as part of a project. Well, in traditional systems, there's no way to assign that to the end user to have them complete it.
Mm.
Not so much in Halo, but you have a demo for us today where we're going to talk through a kind of a specific scenario of how these roles work. So, Tom, I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell me a little bit more about what you guys are doing there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just share my screen here. We'll go for the whole window here. So there's quite a few bits this user roles, and this is something that we've talked about quite a lot here at Halo. Just how we kind of create the control over the portal and the self-service and the user access that we need to, because it's something that in the past is, yeah, like you said earlier, your technicians, they have roles. They need to do lots of different things. They need people to have access to different things. They need them to be able to do different things at certain times. And the more as the world shifted towards self-service and kind of working from portals and chatbots and things like that, you soon realize actually we need to be able to control what the end user's doing in a lot of different ways. And we were finding that we were just creating lots of permissions for the users, and I don't know, you have to kind of control them separately and at the user level and all that kind of stuff. But actually, it's now very, very similar to how a technician or an agent works, where they have to have a role. These people are, they might be managers, they might work in HR, they might be a part of a project team, whatever the role might be. It's very similar to how an agent works. So what we've done at Halo here is we've bundled all these permissions into under our users area into user roles. And I've got an example here of manager, and I've just got myself in here as the user that has that role. So you can map that from AD, so you can bring that across if they're members of a group or something like that, um, or an OU if on-prem as well. So you can do that kind of stuff here, map the users into here, and that user that has that role then inherits a set of permissions, and there's all sorts of things in here you can do. Um, as part of that role, there's lots of things that we can then control. So things on the self-service portal, we could say, this person has access to see this button if they've got that role, or they might have access to reporting or dashboards if they're a manager or a director. And we can use those roles to basically be a kind of a controlled area of being able to standardize the access that everyone has and manage it all from a central place. So I've got a very, very basic example here. Under the configuration, we have an incident management workflow. And all I've set up here is if we just edit this underneath here, what have we got? We've got a button called, where's my button? Did I put it in there? I can't remember where I put it now. Escalate, this one here. So I've just got a button here, escalate. And all I've done is I've added a restriction in here to say the user must have a role of manager. So all you do underneath here is just say the role of has role user, and then you just select the role underneath there. So by being a manager, they then have permission to escalate a ticket. And how that looks in practice is if I go into one of these tickets on the portal, I think it was this one I was looking at. We now have this button to escalate, and then we can just hit that, put our escalation note in, and then we can do whatever we like with that. We can have that fire off an alert. We can just have that update the status, put the note on, whatever you need to, really. But basically, the role is a way of just controlling how the different end users can interact with Halo. What do you reckon, Mike?
Yeah. So in a more global way, so you could create a number of different roles, and everybody that's in the manager role has the ability to escalate, or as you said,
Precisely.
run a report or what
Yeah.
have you that an average user may not be able to. And of course, with the portal, the portal doesn't have a licensing implication.
No.
Halo is licensed by technician, either on a named user basis, a concurrent basis, or a mix of the two. And the self-service portal is doesn't really have any licensing restrictions. And so one of the things that I've seen with what you guys are doing, and some of the things that are also on the roadmap, is, as you said, self-service is becoming a more significant thing. And how do we not restrict? We don't want a user to be able to do the entire workflow of a technician through the portal, right? That's true of most of the ITS systems out there, right? Because then, well, you wouldn't need to buy a license, right? I mean, let's be real here. However, one of the challenges is the way those have been set up. It restricts the ability to do things that the user may need to do, like in many of the systems that are on the market, being able to do an approval is something that can be done from the portal, right? And that's
Yeah.
always been true in Halo. Halo has always had approvals. What we're doing is we're just expanding that capability,
No.
and the roles are a way to organize it more,
Yeah. On that topic as
in a
well,
broader way.
another good example of that topic is the ability to delegate approvals. It's something, so if someone's off on leave for a couple of weeks, or maybe off on sickness or whatever, you could give them the role to be able to actually delegate that to someone else. So there's all sorts of little things like that where actually the role becomes that centralized place to give that permission, rather than having to go into each individual person. You lose track of what you've given, and it all gets too horrendously messy. And then roles, you can just centrally manage it. And like I said before, you can pull that from your identity management platform, you put AD or whatever you use. So yeah, we it's something that's it's great, really. We've been using it for a few months now, really, and it's just one of those things that you just wonder how it's not always been there. Really, it's so logical, and it's a good feature if you can't think of a way of living without it, if that makes sense.
Well, it's another example of how you guys continue to innovate with the platform. And although there are large things that come, there are small things that have a huge impact, like this end user roles capability brings to the system to just help drive customers to success. So,
Yeah.
Tom, as always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing the fun stuff that's going on there at Halo. There's a lot more to come, folks. We're going to continue to have a bunch of things out there because there's a lot of really exciting stuff going on with Halo. ExcaliburDataSystems.com. Head to the website. You can sign up for your free trial of Halo, fully functional system, to go ahead and go in and play and find out for yourself what Halo can do for you. Or reach out to Excalibur, and we'll get Tom and the team at Halo on with all of us, and we can talk through how Halo can make a difference in your organization. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Tom, again, thank you. Take care, everyone.